The confirmed number of coronavirus cases in Los Angeles County comes to 566,005. The confirmed number of deaths reaches 8,568. Here in Torrance, the total number of confirmed cases is 2,715, with total confirmed deaths at 78. We anticipate those numbers to change as the county updates its last 24-hour operating period. Welcome to COVID-19 Today. I'm Christine Lee. It's 4 p.m. on Wednesday, December 16th. Every hour, on average, 2 of our neighbors or friends are dying from COVID-19. That's the sad reality check that county leaders started us off with during today's afternoon briefing. LA County continues to break records when it comes to COVID-19 numbers. Public health officials confirmed 21,411 new cases today. That's right, 21,411 due to a backlog of approximately 7,000 new cases that weren't reported over the past couple of days. The county also saw 131 new deaths today, the highest number ever reported since the pandemic began. These numbers do not include Long Beach or Pasadena, which have separate public health departments. LA County's Director of Public Health, Dr. Barbara Ferrer, added that 4,656 people are currently hospitalized. That's another increase of 200 or more patients in a day. Dr. Ferrer says LA County is experiencing a sharp increase in people becoming seriously ill from COVID-19, from 791 patients on November 1st to 4,656 patients today. And COVID-19 related hospitalizations shot up 4 times since just 1 month ago, with more than 20% of these people in the intensive care unit. County officials say it is more important than ever that businesses in LA County carefully follow the public health requirements and modifications. Compliance teams are continuing to visit businesses daily across LA County. 20 citations were issued to gyms, indoor malls, and restaurants between November 29th and December 6th. Public health officials urge LA residents to stay home, only go out for essential activities, and always wear a face covering when outside their homes. They also invited Dr. Denise Whitfield, an emergency medicine physician from Harbor UCLA Medical Center, to speak about her personal experience of working as an emergency response worker. She shared that the past 10 months have taken an emotional toll both on herself as well as on her colleagues. She urged people to take proper precautions so that hospital beds won't run out. As ICUs fill up across Southern California, facilities are canceling surgeries, keeping critically ill patients in emergency rooms, and bringing in nurses from other units. Hospitalizations continue to rise at unprecedented levels. And here in LA County, emergency rooms are getting so crowded that some ambulances have to wait as long as 6 hours to offload patients. California leaders are trying to get medical staff from overseas, from as far away as Australia, to come and help. And they're opening field hospitals throughout the state to care for non-ICU patients. Officials say while hospitals are entering a crisis state, they're not at the breaking point yet. Some regions, including LA County, have enough physical bed capacity but are running very low on the staff that's needed to care for the patients there. However, other areas, such as Riverside County and the San Joaquin Valley, are maxed out or fluctuating between 0 and 1.6% ICU capacity. A spokesperson with the Riverside County Emergency Management Department says the state isn't able to fill all the requests they've got for additional staffing because the demand is just too big. Officials say up to 5,000 people in LA County are expected to become hospitalized from COVID-19 by this weekend. Meanwhile, here in Torrance, a spokesperson with Providence Little Company of Mary says the ICU is nearly full. Torrance Memorial says they currently have bed space available in their ICU, and Harbor UCLA is afraid that they will run out of ICU beds if current trends continue. Well, healthcare workers in LA County have some good news today. The county has received the full initial allotment of the Pfizer vaccine. That means 83,000 doses of the highly anticipated vaccine will be spread across the 9 sites in our county that have the proper storage facilities for them. The doses will then be sent to 83 acute care hospitals where more frontline workers can get vaccinated. The shots, which received federal approval over the weekend for immediate use, is said to be 95% effective at preventing the virus. Cedars-Sinai, UCLA Health, and Kaiser Permanente Los Angeles all received the vaccine and are in the process of giving the shots to those who are in the first phase to receive them. Healthcare officials say they look forward to more distributions in the coming days to frontline workers and to our most vulnerable populations. California Governor Gavin Newsom says we expect to receive 327,600 doses in the first allotment and another 393,900 doses from Pfizer next week. And pending federal approval, our state expects to receive 672,600 doses of the Moderna vaccine by the end of the month. The goal is to receive as many as 2.16 million total doses by the end of the year. Providence Little Company of Mary Medical Center expects to start giving the Pfizer vaccine to its frontline workers this week. Providence, Southern California, has 11 hospitals across 3 counties, the closest location right here in Torrance along Torrance Boulevard near Hawthorne Boulevard. They expect to receive the first shipment of the COVID-19 vaccine as soon as tomorrow. After healthcare workers receive their shots, the hospital group will follow federal recommendations on vaccines for vulnerable groups that are next in line. They also expect to receive the Moderna vaccine once it becomes available. A Providence executive says as soon as they know when the vaccine will arrive, qualified individuals will be invited to schedule an appointment to get their shots. The hospital let employees know about possible side effects and asked those who are planning to get vaccinated to schedule it before their day off. Doctors in a different part of Southern California are asking nurses not to strike as a planned walkout approaches. A union representing nurses at 3 hospitals is scheduled to begin a 10-day strike starting Christmas Eve. It's over allegations of unfair labor practices. Doctors at Riverside Community Hospital, which is one of the hospitals where the strike is expected to take place, sent out a memo on Tuesday urging their colleagues to reconsider the timing of the walkout. Dr. Stephen Kim says these nurses are needed during this time and patients' lives would be at risk without them. A spokesperson with the union released a statement saying in part, quote, "The timing of this strike, like so many of the issues the nurses are addressing at the bargaining table, is manufactured by the employer. It is unconscionable that during this pandemic, our patients and the employees who provide patient care have not been prioritized to maintain a healthy community." The strike is set to begin at 6 p.m. on December 24th at Riverside Community Hospital, Los Robles Regional Medical Center in Thousand Oaks, and West Hills Hospital and Medical Center in Los Angeles. The first over-the-counter, fully at-home COVID-19 test has been approved by the FDA. The federal administration gave the emergency authorization on Tuesday. Unlike other at-home tests, this one doesn't require a prescription and doesn't require people to send samples to a lab to get results. FDA Commissioner Dr. Stephen Hahn says this authorization is a major milestone because they're allowing it to be sold in places like drugstores, where a patient can simply pick it up, take it home, and find out their results in as little as 20 minutes. The antigen test uses an analyzer that connects with a mobile app. It's created by an Australian company called Illume and correctly identified 96% of positive samples and 100% of negative ones in those with symptoms. For those without symptoms, the accuracy dropped a little bit, correctly identifying 91% of positive samples and 96% of negative ones. Illume expects to produce more than 3 million tests next month. Each test is expected to cost $30. U.S. could see some real progress in its fight against the coronavirus by late spring. That's a prediction by Dr. Anthony Fauci, the nation's top expert on infectious disease. He says our country may achieve early stages of herd immunity against COVID-19 by late spring or summer and really turn around in this battle against the virus by the end of next year. Dr. Fauci adds that in order to start seeing an impact, 50% of Americans would have to get vaccinated. He says up to 85% would need to get the shots if we want to have that blanket of herd immunity. Herd immunity is a term describing when enough people become immune to a disease that it becomes unlikely for a person to continue spreading the virus. Some examples are measles and polio. Dr. Fauci says more vaccines will become available to the general public by the end of March or the beginning of April if everything goes as planned. Then, he says the plan would be to get as many people vaccinated as possible in the following months. Dr. Fauci agreed to join President-elect Joe Biden's administration as a chief medical advisor. He says when a vaccine becomes available to him, he plans to get the shot publicly to put aside concerns that some people have about its safety. December is Impaired Driving Prevention Month, and a new national report shows that impaired driving is on the rise among college students. Students Against Destructive Decisions released a study that highlights a spike in recent years for 18 to 24-year-olds when it comes to alcohol and drug-impaired driving. Its president and CEO, Rick Burt, says impaired driving is the silent health public crisis of our time. The review documents crashes going up year after year relating to such driving. The report also interviews college students across the country and asked about their thoughts. Students perceive drugged driving, especially involving marijuana, as low risk for crashes. The report lists several recommendations for campuses to increase their education and enforcement efforts to keep their students safe. Sad news for Starbucks fans. The coffee chain is pausing its buy one, get one free promotion as COVID-19 cases continue to soar. Starbucks says, given the rise in cases and the current guidance from the scientific community to not gather indoors in large groups for prolonged periods of time, it decided to pause happy hours in December and early January. Instead, it's offering other perks such as double star days as it continues to monitor the situation. Last December, the company had 4 happy hour events. It also held more than 1,000 pop-up parties at different restaurants over 5 days. This isn't the first time that Starbucks had to halt its happy hour promotion this year. The first time was during the beginning of the pandemic. The happy hour events were reintroduced about 3 months later in mid-June. As for what may have prompted this second pause, more than 5,400 Starbucks employees signed a petition asking the company to stop the happy hour events for the rest of 2020. Members of the Torrance City Council met last night to conduct city business for the last time this year. Prior to the public portion of the meeting, the City Council members conducted a workshop to review the progress of the downtown revitalization plan. Mayor Fury noted that anyone interested in learning more about this can log on to torranceca.gov/CDD. Among the agenda items was a resolution honoring Cindy Snodgrass of the Community Services Department upon her retirement after 31 years of dedicated service, and a proclamation was read honoring Rick Shigaki, the Communications and Information Technology Department Director, upon his retirement after 17 years serving the city. Commission seats for Parks and Recreation were filled last night as well. The City Council adopted a resolution to appoint interim police chief John McGeff while a recruitment is conducted after Chief of Police Eve Berg retires in January. Council members approved the placement of benches in downtown Torrance to provide more outdoor seating options during this pandemic. They also selected the Army as the honored branch for the 2021 Armed Forces Day Parade and celebration. And the city leaders approved plans for a future public works agreement along Pacific Coast Highway at Hawthorne Boulevard in a cooperative agreement with the California Department of Transportation. You can watch replays of the full meeting right here on our channel, online, and on our social media platforms. Well, before we go, at the end of each program, we like to share stories from our community. Feel good pictures, images, and videos that remind us of how resilient our community is and how Torrance truly cares. If you're in a season of giving, there's an easy place online where you can check out multiple local opportunities. The Torrance Cares Connection site has a list of nonprofits in our area that you can help. To learn more about each organization, you can click on the Learn More tab. The website also shows what each nonprofit's needs are and how you can get in touch with them. What a meaningful way to stay connected during this special time of the year. Now, if you have a great story to share, email us at covid19today@torranceca.gov. We'd love to hear from you. Well, that's our update for COVID-19 today. Be sure to tune in tomorrow as Ben McCain brings you the latest. Be safe, stay healthy, and thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.